Now at 6, the Salvation Army of Ottawa County hopes to better serve the public by moving to a new building. Plus, local firefighters respond to a vehicle collision call right at their own station. And Kansas seniors from 28 schools descend on the state capitol to learn about government, jobs, and business opportunity.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
The Salvation Army of Ottawa County Service Center is moving into a new space that fits all of their services. This is KOIM News at 6. I'm Dow Quick. KOIM's Amber Jenkins was there.
The Salvation Army of Ottawa County moved from Steve Owens Boulevard to 1915 North Main Street in Miami. At first glance, it may look just like a thrift store, but it is much more.
As we're sitting here, people are ready to come in and come shop them, and then we have to let them know that we're actually not a Salvation Army thrift store. We're actually more like a resource hub with our food pantry and our clothing and our social services.
After filling out an application, clothing is free to those in need. Access to the food pantry is based on income, and social services are needs-based.
It is a few hundred square feet larger. It houses all 3 of our services. So we have social services, we have a clothing shopping experience that's free for people, and we also have a food pantry.
With the new space, they're able to fit 3 services in one building, which makes it a lot more accessible for the community, especially for those who struggle with transportation.
A lot of people do not have transportation, so they are able to come here and to access all of the services at one place.
The help of the volunteers made the moving and reorganizing smooth. However, the center is still looking for more volunteers to stay open more than 2 days a week.
And people often wonder, I say, I can't retire because I won't have anything to do. There are so many places that you can volunteer and help. It is a blessing to be able to volunteer.
Be able to serve here, the stories of what you would hear that come out of here there's a lot of miracles that happen here.
Reporting in Miami, Amber Jenkins, KOIM News.
The Salvation Army Service Center of Ottawa County is currently open on Tuesdays and Thursdays from 9 a.m. to noon. The Missouri Community Service Commission is asking for nominations for the 22nd Annual Show Me Service Awards. The awards highlight volunteer work done by Missourians. They're broken up by region and age, as well as community, business, and national service awards. You have until March 11th to fill out the form to nominate someone, and you can find that form on our website, KOIMnewsnow.com. Boy, what a beautiful day out there. Chief Meteorologist Doug Heddy.
Yeah, fantastic Monday for us today. All weekend long, we had really good conditions, and we're going to see these nice, mild, warm conditions sticking around into Tuesday as well. Look outside, 70 in Joplin, 70 in Pittsburgh. Our evening daylight hours continue to stretch out, upper 60s to mid 70s once you get into northeastern parts of Oklahoma. Southerly winds really keeping our temperatures up. So we've had sustained winds, kind of 5 to 10 to 15. But gusts have been higher than that, and these winds will start to increase as well, especially by the time we go into the daytime hours tomorrow. Sliding back through the 60s, but overnight low only right around 60 degrees. We have a red flag warning in effect tomorrow, meaning fire danger due to very windy and also low humidity. We're going to be talking more about that and big changes moving in coming up here in just a bit.
Catch you in a few. Kansas Governor Laura Kelly signs a proclamation designating March 4th through the 8th as Severe Weather Preparedness Week in Kansas. Being prepared includes being aware of weather conditions and having a family emergency kit and emergency plan. As part of the week's activities, Kansans are urged to take part in the statewide tornado safety drill. That's going to be Wednesday, March 6th at 11 a.m. You can learn more at KOIMnewsnow.com. Staff on duty at the Independence, Kansas Fire EMS building went into action when a pickup truck crashed into the back of the station. Look at that. Firefighters heard what sounded like an explosion and saw a dumpster fly into the air before striking a canopy roof and then falling to the ground. The emergency workers managed to free a person who was trapped in that truck. That person was taken by helicopter to the hospital. No word on the condition. Police are investigating the cause of that crash. The Missouri Department of Conservation wants to remind hunters and anglers now is the time to renew their hunting and fishing licenses, and Missourians can do that online. Related annual permits expire at the end of February, including 2023 permits for small game, fishing, trout fishing, and combination hunting and fishing. For more information on how to renew your license, again, go to our website, KOAMnewsnow.com. Missouri State Auditor Scott Fitzpatrick today released a follow-up report for the city of Purcell. It finds the city is still working to implement many of the recommendations made by a 2022 audit that gave the municipality a rating of poor. The original report was initiated by a citizen petition and led to the former mayor pro tem being charged with stealing after uncovering more than $3,200 in missing or misappropriated money. The follow-up report looks at 19 of the recommendations made in the original audit and finds the city has fully implemented only 4 of them. Kansas Capitol today hosted the JAG-K Senior Days event. JAG-K stands for Jobs for America's Graduates Kansas. More than 130 Kansas students attended the event to learn more about the governmental process. Day also served as a way for students to meet with legislators from their respective areas. The event also gave students the opportunity to tour the campuses of Washburn University and Washburn Tech. Another big night for high school basketball. John's going to have a preview of the tournament tipping off tonight in Frontenac a little bit later in sports. But first, hundreds attend a vigil to mourn the death of an Oklahoma teen and demand answers. Hundreds of people came to Oklahoma City's 39th Street District to demand accountability in the death of 16-year-old Nex Benedict. Despite delays in information from investigators, the community hopes that policymakers intervene. Matt McCabe has the story.
Packed tightly between buildings in Oklahoma City's LGBTQ-friendly business district. This crowd brought candles and words of support for 16-year-old Nex Benedict.
Nex is still worth remembering, and Nex still deserves justice.
Nex Benedict died February 8th. That's one day after their family say a group of girls attacked Benedict in the restroom.
Our spirits are exhausted.
In an interview with a school resource officer at the hospital that same day, Benedict reveals the girls allegedly taunted Benedict about the way they laughed and dressed.
And so I don't have pleasant words for you tonight. I am struggling out of my anger, out of my weariness.
Benedict admitted to pouring water on the girls in response before the situation became violent. Activists at this vigil frustrated by the response from police and school officials. One says they've seen these escalations play out in their own children's school.
The rhetoric was getting worse, and so we made the incredibly difficult decision to break up our family. And I moved 2 of my 4 children to Colorado.
Oklahoma's youth noticing and speaking out against what they feel is a dangerous landscape.
I was in high school surrounded by queer people, and we were terrified. We were scared. And we're still scared, and that hasn't stopped.
Benedict's family said they're going to begin their own independent investigation into the death. Owasso police say a final autopsy report could take weeks to months to be finalized. Pitt State track and field team has reasons to celebrate after a record-setting weekend. John's going to have details on their accomplishments coming up in sports.
Plus, it looks like temperatures are going to be staying warm before big changes. Details coming up. Well, of course, a great Monday for us today after a fantastic weekend. Temperatures were into the 60s most of last week and then 70s over the past couple days. Of course, we are wrapping up the month of February here in a few days, and majority of this month so far, 21 days, have been above our average high for this time of the year. All right, let's go outside. Here's a nice shot of our Cornell Arts and Entertainment tower camera looking northeast through downtown. Looks okay. We do have some clouds up top, but the winds are really going to strengthen as we go through the next 24 hours. In fact, red flag warning or fire weather warning, wind advisory in effect, meaning high winds, humidity is going to be low. So there's a fire danger, so definitely don't burn if you're going to be outside over the next couple days. All right, look at the winds right now. We got south winds 5 to 10 to 15, but we've had gusts at times a little bit higher than that. And if we look at our relative humidity, it's pretty dry, sitting right around 30%. Now it cranks up a little bit during the morning hours and then it really drops tomorrow afternoon will be dropping down to about 15 to 20%. So that's why we have that fire warning danger across the region. All right, look at our winds gusting tomorrow, 35 upwards to 40. So they're going to be moving, and then still it stays breezy into Wednesday morning, and then finally they'll start to taper off once we get into Wednesday afternoon. Temperatures right now, they look great, anywhere from 70 to about 75, 76 in our western counties, and you can see the entire Central Plains very warm, but lurking in the northern plains, we have much colder air, which is going to start to plunge in by the time we get into tomorrow night. So here's this front, slides all the way in by tomorrow evening, and then we see a huge drop, about a 55-degree drop from tomorrow afternoon all the way into Wednesday morning, which is kind of extreme. A lot of clouds shooting through, not much underneath the clouds. Maybe a couple random showers south of us as we go through the evening hours. But here's our storm system building the western third of the country, which is going to kick out toward us as we go into tomorrow. Now, it's not going to have a lot of moisture to work with for us. It's mainly going to be farther east. But still, we're going to get something out of this system. The biggest thing is definitely going to be the temperature swing. All right, lower 60s to start. Look at this. Mid to upper 70s by noon. Near record highs, if not above that, as we get into tomorrow afternoon. High temps into the lower 80s. Tomorrow night, this front slides in. So here's 6:30, and you can see a few thunderstorms starting to pop up, mainly in our southeastern counties and pushing east. So most of us will stay dry. Also on the back side, a little band of light snow showers tomorrow night into Wednesday morning. It doesn't look like a big deal, but if there were any accumulations from that, from really Joplin, Northwood, it would be very minor accumulation, so not a big deal. Biggest thing with this system, again, is going to be the winds and the temperature swing. 81 tomorrow, down to 27 tomorrow night. 43 on Wednesday, and then back into the 50s with some showers on Thursday.
We joke about how quickly the temperature and the weather in general can change around here, but from 80 to sub-freezing in a matter of like 12 hours, it doesn't seem real.
Yeah, it's crazy.
It is. Thanks, Doug. City of Joplin wants to remind customers of the city wastewater service that failure to pay sewer charges can result in water service being shut off. Missouri American Water Company's disconnection and reconnection fee, that's $188. Joplin encourages customers to call the city if they're unable to pay their sewer bill because of any unforeseen circumstances. You can find more information at our website, koamnewsnow.com. Still ahead, several wrestlers from the four states bring home state championships over the weekend, and it's playoff time for Kansas high school basketball. John Dales has those stories and more up next.
The playoffs are here for high school basketball in Southeast Kansas, and tonight we begin our coverage of sub-state tournaments with a quarterfinal between Baxter Springs and Frontenac. Now, sub-state tournaments across all of Kansas take place beginning tonight, culminating with championships this weekend. Here locally, the Caney Valley sub-state tournament features 8 of our schools, top-seeded Girard, followed by Riverton, Frontenac, and Caney Valley, all 4 of which have home games tonight at 7 in the quarterfinals. Galena, Baxter Springs, Columbus, and Cherryville all head on the road for those games. Semifinals take place Thursday, and the title game is Saturday. Both of those rounds will be held at Caney Valley High School. But again, to get to that point, you need to win tonight, where the games are being held at the higher seeds gyms. We're going to have the highlights from the 3-6 matchup between Baxter Springs and Frontenac tonight at 10. The Lions and Raiders split their 2 regular season meetings, with the home team winning each time by double digits. Now, switching gears from the hardwood to the rubber floor, Pittsburgh State Track and Field competed against all of its conference foes at the MIAA Indoor Championships in Washburn this weekend, and the Gorillas have 2 team conference titles. We start on the women's side. The Gorillas track and field team wins the 2024 Indoor Conference title. It's the 8th time in the last 9 years they've done so. PSU has 5 individual champions and sets 3 new conference records along the way. The men's team just as successful. Pittsburgh State men's track and field is your 2024 MIAA indoor champ. That's the 4th year in a row and the 8th time in the last 10 years they've won it. The Gorillas set a new record for team points and have 5 individual champs. Over the weekend, the high school wrestling season in Missouri and Kansas also comes to a close. We told you all last week that the 4 states would be well represented in the state finals, and several of our local athletes take home state championships. From Kansas and Missouri, 7 wrestlers finished the year as state champs. Faith Jones from Cassville, as well as Isabella Renfro and Andrew Manley from Seneca, they're all state champs. Then in Kansas, we have 4 state champions, all of them girls in class 4 through 1A. Harper Holmes, part of the first 3 Lady Raiders to make it to state, wins the state title at 105 pounds. Kenna Miles from Fort Scott, 110-pound state champ. Then Reese Clements and Kylie Dillow, high school teammates at Chanute, are also state champs at 135 and 170. Over to college basketball, one of the Big 12 teams from the Sunflower State back at home tonight. Kansas State men's basketball faces West Virginia this evening. Game just tipped off at the top of the hour. The Wildcats trying to take some momentum from their last time out. That was a 10-point win over BYU. Prior to that contest, the Wildcats had lost 3 in a row and 7 of their last 8. As we get down the stretch in February, though, this is the time of the year where it's exciting for basketball fans,
Yeah.
high school, college, all of it. Coming towards the end of the season, getting to the playoffs, getting to tournament time.
Yeah, March Madness
Yes.
around the corner. We'll be right back. Here's a look at what's coming up on KOAM News at 9 on Fox 14. The Parsons Public Library teaches people about the 12 black women who played a major role in the Brown versus Board of Education civil rights case. Plus, getting kids up and active, it isn't always easy, as a lot of parents know. We're going to have 6 tips to help get your little ones moving. And ever wonder what would happen if we didn't have leap years? Well, we're going to look at the importance of that extra day. Those stories, a lot more, of course. It's coming up tonight. KOAM News at 9 on Fox 14. Hey, to be the first to see breaking news, weather, and sports, why don't you download the KOAM News app? You can do it right now. It's available free of charge in the Apple App Store, the Google Play Store, and you see the QR code right there on your screen. You can also just search for KOAM News app. How long does it take you to solve a Rubik's Cube, if you can at all? Well, if you're 11-year-old Taryn Nelson from Jennings, Missouri, 11-year-old, it takes less than 2 minutes. This 5th grader is known as his elementary school's Rubik's Cube Kid. That's because he can get all 6 sides of the cube to display a single color in as fast as 43 seconds. The classic 3D puzzle has stumped countless adults for decades, but not Taryn.
Oh, what it do for me? It keeps me distracted. You don't have to be smart to solve a Rubik's Cube. All you need to know is the algorithms.
Yeah, in case you're wondering, the world record for the quickest time solving a Rubik's Cube, 3.13 seconds.
That doesn't even seem possible.
That's pretty fast, yeah.
No, yeah. I couldn't remove the stickers and put them back on that quickly at all, which is the only way I can solve a Rubik's Cube.
It's crazy.
The weather could be warm at least one more day.
Yeah, warm and very windy for us tomorrow. 81 degrees, sharply colder Wednesday.
Final sports notes.
We'll have the highlights from that playoff basketball game between Frontenac and Baxter Springs. Should be a good one. The 2 of them split the regular season games.
Looking forward to that. We'll see you right back here for KOAM News at 10. Let's make it a great evening.
Captioning